Hello, Mr. Raatz. I wanted to interact with and provide a refutation of your video titled Problems with Property Dualism. There's not a whole lot to respond to, as most of the video as pertains to decisively refuting property dualism is irrelevant. As you yourself even admit that, to paraphrase, a lot of the attacks you made were not firm defeaters. So there are really just two salient things that need to be responded to. The first is you trying to show free will does not obtain on property dualism, and the second is your syllogism that's supposed to be a firm defeater for property dualism. Your explication for why there would be no free will under property dualism struck me as a bit of a mess. It came across to me as you saying stuff without really saying anything substantive, but just delivering bare assertions. I tried my best to make sense of it, and the best I could come up with was the part where you said the mind would not have any room to actually act, which, as I was trying to analyze it, basically came across as you presenting what is known in the philosophy of mind as the causal exclusion problem made well known in the field by Jaegwon Kim. This is easily answered on property dualism via downward causation. Simply put, the causal agency nexus is initiated by psychological intentionality and then downwards to bodily physiology carrying it out. For example, I need to move my arm and hand to get some drink to quench my thirst. The mind has room to act and is not simply along for the ride, since the mind and its will is that which initiates the grabbing of the drink via intentionality and desire. If I didn't have an intention and desire to quench my thirst in that instance and at that time, my arm and hand would not have grabbed the drink to begin with, which means the mind and the will plays an enormous role in our actions and behavior. The second salient thing that needs to be addressed is your so-called firm defeater for property dualism syllogism. Your syllogism fails at premise 1. Premise 1 is false because conceivability does not entail possibility. In this manner, I am understanding the word conceivable to mean capable of being imagined or grasped mentally. For example, I can conceive that 2 plus 2 equals 5, but in no possible world does 2 plus 2 equal 5. So just because something can be conceived does not mean it could be the case, or rather, that it's possible. Another fatal problem for premise 1 is that the universe simply cannot exist with only the mind in it. This is because a possible world is a world that could be actualized, and the actual is that which exists in fact, and fact is objective. The mind, however, is not objective since it is first person, while fact and the actual is third person. A possible world is a world in which the world, or rather reality, could have been. And in no possible world are logical contradictions possible, let alone actual. So in no possible world can that world consist of only a first-person ontology, since that logically contradicts the nature of an actual world, which is to be actual and therefore an objective fact. An objective in that manner is third person, and the mind is first person. So solipsism is logically impossible, and of course, your introspective argument, once again, is false.